All right, ladies and gentlemen of D-Class personnel, go ahead and have a seat. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Commander, and I'm going to be briefing you on the SCP you're about to go study. So this one is by order of the Overseer Council. This following file that we're about to go through describes an anomaly pertaining to Project Black Crevasse. Information on Black Crevasse is on a need-to-know basis only, hence the enhanced screening that I had to give all of you beforehand. Took a hell of a lot of paperwork, so I suggest you pay attention. What we're looking at today, SCP-3614, Object Class Euclid. Special Containment Procedures. Due to the immovable nature of SCP-3614-1, it is to remain at its site of discovery. Containment teams have established a 4-kilometer perimeter around SCP-3614-1. Civilian traffic is to be rerouted under the guise of a cover story alleging military operations in the area. Area 3-1 has been established around SCP-3614-1 to carry out exploration of SCP-3614 Prime. Only D-Class may enter SCP-3614 Prime with Level 4-3614 permissions. That's what I'm currently working on, so you'll have everything ready to go by the time you get ready to study this thing. SCP-3614-2 is to be kept in a standard low-security containment locker. Testing on SCP-3614-2 and access to the information contained within can only be done with Level 5-3614 approval. The Overseer Council is investigating the credibility of Document 3614-B, which was recovered from SCP-3614-2 upon its discovery on 2/27/2019. In addition, the Foundation is attempting communication with SCP-3614 Prime to gain more information regarding potential anomalous influences on consensus reality. However, current temporal models, namely the Agendimu-Zhang hypothesis, estimate chances of success to be low, approximately 1 out of every 10 times 10 to the 100th power. Description: SCP-3614 designates a set of 3 extratemporal anomalies. -1 is a conic area of space in Toole County, Utah, U.S. The anomaly is approximately 500 meters in height and 2 meters in width at its base, tapering towards its top. -1 appears as a distinct visual distortion of the surrounding area, taking on a prominent crystalline-like appearance and texture. -1 has been reported by on-site personnel to emit a high-pitched noise akin to that of wind blowing. All matter that enters -1 will be transported to a space-time anomaly designated SCP-3614 Prime. Prime anomaly appears effectively identical to Earth. However, numerous aspects of it are inconsistent with those in the baseline reality, as I'll describe here in a minute. It is unknown if these deviations extend beyond 3614 Prime version of Earth or if they are confined to the planet. -1 was unintentionally created during preliminary tests of Project Black Crevasse, a Foundation initiative headed by 051 and 0513. Following the discovery of 3614 Prime and failure of initial experiments, 051 discontinued Black Crevasse on 6/21/2018. Further information is in Document 3614-A, Black Crevasse Project Brief. SCP-3614-2 is an ellipsoidal metallic capsule originating from SCP-3614 Prime. Dimensions are approximately 1.3 by 2.8 meters. Analysis has revealed that SCP-3614-2 is comprised of non-anomalous steel, along with several other substances unknown to modern science. Further examination of -2 has revealed that it contains an electronic terminal interface similar to those used by the Foundation, from which Document 3614-B was recovered. SCP-3614-2 was first seen emerging from the top end of SCP-3614-1 on 2/27/2019. Full emergence from SCP-3614-1 took 3 minutes and 21 seconds. After emergence, SCP-3614-2 traveled 264 meters due west via an unknown means of propulsion and crash-landed in the nearby desert. To date, this is the only observed occurrence of contact from SCP-3614 Prime. Investigation of recovered materials from SCP-3614 Prime has revealed that it exhibits the following critical divergences from baseline reality. Advanced technology beyond the capabilities of currently understood science, different socio-cultural trends throughout history, including increased globalization in the 20th century, and overall reduced rates of nationalism, isolationism, etc. The non-existence or otherwise historical displacement of numerous events and time periods of the Prime timeline. This is further described in Addendum 3614-1. The SCP Foundation revealing its existence to the public in the early 21st century, acting as a global agency with significant influence in the governments of all world powers, most notably the absence of all sapient life within SCP-3614 Prime. This is Addendum 3614-1, Major Observed Temporal Deviations. I'll go ahead and grant you access to this. All right, disclaimer. The following table has been redacted for brevity, but I'll go ahead and read what I can. Keep in mind, this is an extremely top secret one. Let's see, lucky you, right? Event, First Crusade. Baseline timeline, 1905 CE to 1099 CE. Pope Urban II reclaims Jerusalem from the Fatimid Caliphate. Victory incites continued religious conflicts in the area until the late 13th century. SCP-3614 Prime, this happened in 1095 CE to 1098 CE. Pope Urban II does not capture Jerusalem, status quo, antebellum. Event, Fall of the Incan Empire. Baseline timeline, 1532 to 1572 CE. The arrival of Spanish conquistadors in South America has a catastrophic effect on the Inca population, resulting in a population decline ratio of 58-1 between 1520 and 1571. Results in the fall of the Incan Empire, 1572. SCP-3614 Prime. What happened was didn't occur at all. Both parties develop a mutually beneficial relationship with the natives. Inca Empire persists for 2 more centuries. Event, Existence of the Congo Free State. Baseline timeline, 1885 to 1908 CE. Belgian King Leopold II claims most of the Congo Basin at the Berlin Conference. Natives suffer from disease, famine, and violence at the hands of Leopold's regime. In SCP-3614 Prime, this event has not occurred. Event, Cambodian Civil War. Baseline timeline, 1968 to 1975 CE. The Communist Party of Kampuchea overthrows the incumbent Khmer Republic, establishing the state of Democratic Kampuchea. Cambodian genocide begins after Kampuchea victory. Total population lost to amounts to 1.671 to 1.871 million people. In SCP-3614 Prime, in 1968 to 1971 CE, the Communist Party of Kampuchea actually loses the war. Cambodian genocide does not occur. Event, the Democracy Wall Movement. Baseline timeline, 1978 to 1979 CE. Thousands of Chinese protesters put up pro-democracy posters on a long wall in Zidane Street, Beijing. Results in a brief period of liberalization in the People's Republic of China. In SCP-3614 Prime, 1978 CE, approximately 928 Beijing citizens are reported abducted over the course of the 12 months following the discovery of the posters. Discussion of these abductions is highly censored for many years afterwards. This is Addendum 3614-2, Selected Correspondence. The following is a collection of archived correspondence between Dr. Lu Zhang and Dr. Abidi Ogundimu. I can never fucking say this guy's name right. Can we just call him Dr. O, please? Okay, Dr. L and Dr. O. There we go. You got to remember that the people I'm speaking to have a collective IQ of 4. All right, thank you. Jeez, fucking 05. Project co-leads on SCP-3614. Date 1/16/2019 to Dr. L. From Dr. O. Subject preliminary observations. Preliminary explorations have been completed. I can safely say there's no sign of sentient life in 3614 Prime. Looks like we're dealing with another crapsack world, if you mind the informal language. Nothing unique. Date 1/16/2019 to Dr. O from Dr. L. Subject, reply, preliminary observations. Your observations have been noted. I think we can agree that we should designate 3614 as a low priority assignment for the time being. We have more important issues on our hands, I think. Date 1/20/2019. To Dr. L from Dr. O. Subject, further observations. My team and I have been conducting further explorations into 3614 prime. I'm well aware that you've designated it as low priority, but I still think you will find this interesting. From what we can determine, the basic laws of science still apply inside there. Hume levels are practically normal, so we can rule out prime being a parallel or pocket dimension. This is a full-on alternate timeline we're dealing with here. Do you understand that? Level 1 on the Tegmark scale. Given the condition of prime, this raises a very important question. How did it become the way it is? Date 1/25/2019 to Dr. L from Dr. O. Subject, new findings. We figured out what the facility on the other side of 3614-1 is. It's a foundation site, specifically Site 82. For whatever reason, they finished construction over there. This opens a whole new realm of information we can glean from Prime. If they built Site 82, then that means they probably gave Black Crevasse the green light as well. God knows what happened after that. I don't know how much you know, but I was never really briefed on Black Crevasse back when it was a thing. This was in spite of the fact that the hypothesis of the O5 Council decided the source for their uses is partly named after me personally. I would appreciate, being let in on it a little more, but I digress. We need to investigate this further. Date 1/26/2019 to Dr. O from Dr. L. Subject, new findings. Believe me, there was really nothing to know about. Black Crevasse was nothing more than a set of ideas, only in the realm of the hypothetical, okay? Looking back, it was never meant to be, at least in our world. Maybe we can learn more about what could have been. Report on what you find there. Date 2/14/2019 to Dr. L from Dr. O. Subject, reply, new findings. We found information regarding Black Crevasse in Site 82 from archived server data. It's confirmed my suspicions. It seems like they've moved forward with it over there. The most recent legible document we could find details the cessation of preliminary testing, but after that, it just stops. That's not the whole story, though. We found other documents on another Foundation project called Light Empath. They're highly corrupted, but from what we can gather, Light Empath was put into operation as soon as Black Crevasse ended. What we can decipher is intriguing. The temporal models it presents are incredibly complex, far beyond anything we've developed. From our point of view, it seems like madness, but from theirs, I don't know. Maybe it's something else entirely. Date 2/17/2019 to Dr. L from Dr. O. Subject, something strange. Things don't quite make sense. In all other documents we've recovered so far, there's nothing that could explain what happened to Prime. No distress signals, no containment breaches, nothing. It's like Site 82 is frozen in time. Something about this does not feel right. I propose postponing all exploration of Prime until further notice. Date 2/25/2019 to Dr. L from Dr. O. Subject, a thought. Last night I had a nightmare. It was the kind that you don't remember. The kind in which all the fear so clear and present just heartbeats ago vanishes as soon as you open your eyes. Whatever it was, it got me thinking though. And the first thing my racing brain thought of as I lied in bed covered in sweat was the same thing I've been thinking of almost constantly for the past few weeks. 3614 Prime is a dead world. Never in any of our explorations have we ever seen anything even resembling any form of life. Yet all the information is still there. Books, maps, even the internet still works in there. And never have we ever discovered a single piece of information that gave any background to how it became this way. Something does not add up. I lied in bed ruminating this for hours, then I realized something. I think we've been peering through the looking glass so much that we've gotten tunnel vision. Listen, 3614-1 is a one-way window to another world, another timeline, a different history where all sapient life is dead. That is what it looks like from our side. What if we've been looking through from the wrong side? Date 2/26/2019 to Dr. L from Dr. O. Subject, I know now. We aren't looking at them. They're looking at us. Document 3614-A, Black Crevasse Project Brief. Now listen, you mutton heads, it took a lot to get access to this file, especially for you. So I hope you appreciate this. This took a hell of a lot of work, but you gotta know everything. Project codename Black Crevasse. Project BC 41117632. Project AIM, to create a convenient means of travel to and from determinative sets outside of normal temporal progression as understood by conventional science. Project leads 0510513. Attached notice from 051. The Overseer Council has deemed it necessary to formulate a secondary contingency plan for potential world-ending threats when the use of SCP-2000 is impossible. Considering the recent hypothesis proposed by Dr. Abedibi Ogedimu and Dr. Lu Zhang, the Overseer Council has created a viable proposal. Over the course of the past 20 years, the number of red and black level threats has increased by an estimate of 2%. This, coupled with the overall increase of anomalies discovered by the Foundation, has created a significant threat to consensus reality. We must not rely on lesser fail-safes to ensure the continuity of consensus reality. Instead, we must take a proactive hand in changing it. If achieved, Project Crevasse will provide us with a true reset button. While SCP-2000 sows the seeds of a new beginning on a scorched earth, Black Crevasse will ensure that such an earth will never exist. Most work on Black Crevasse will take place in the future Site 82 after it is finished construction. Monitor your local communication channels for further information. Official notice from Overseer Council 6/21/2018. Following development of preliminary models, further construction of Site 82 and all activity regarding Project Black Crevasse are to be suspended indefinitely. Now this is document 3614-B, file encoded in SCP-3614-2. Now listen, the following information was recovered from the electronic interface found on -2. Disclaimer. The following document is subject to an extensive investigation by the O5 Council to determine the credibility of its contents. The following information is not verified as truthful and may be misleading or completely false. We don't know yet. This is SCP-001.PDF. Item number SCP-001, Object Class Apollyon. Special Containment Procedures. SCP-001 is currently uncontainable. Contact with SCP-1 must be avoided with the exception of Project Light Empath Initiative 14-5B. All attempts of contact from SCP-001 are to be ignored. More information to follow. Project Light Empath Initiative 14-5B. The contents of this file, along with document 001-8672A, are to be sent to SCP-001 via Project Light Empath to establish one-way communication with SCP-001. SCP-001 is a determinative set. Divergence from the prime timeline is hypothesized to have occurred within 10 years of 3000 BCE. Project Light Empath has revealed that SCP-001 is under the influence of numerous anomalous social, economic, and cultural trends that have not been observed in any other determinative set. It is hypothesized that this is due to a hostile entity or phenomenon currently exerting control over the inhabitants of SCP-001. The effects of SCP-001 are currently spreading throughout all other determinative sets at an unknown rate. The vector of infection is unknown. Refer to document 001-8672A for more details. Addendum 001-1, document 1-8672A. This document is intended for the eyes of, now this is just columns ranging from 05-1 to 05-13. They all say real name data expunged. It's quite a list. And under that it says, to the O5 Council, fear dominates your lives. The nature of your reality instills its most primal forms as you deal with the horrors you contain, going to sleep every night knowing that it might be your final night on Earth. You pursued what you call Project Black Crevasse to escape this constant fear, yet it was not meant to be. Your attempts at finding a better reality free of the horrors you must deal with on a daily basis were all met with failure. We know why they failed, and this document will tell you why. 5 years ago, we launched Project Light Empath, an attempt to catalog as many determinative sets as a contingency plan if something went irreversibly wrong in ours. It was born out of Project Black Crevasse. Without it, we would not have sufficiently advanced technology to carry out such a monumental task. Light Empath cataloged 10 different timelines before you reached out with Black Crevasse. What we discovered scared us. Out of 10 to the 100th determinative sets, 10 to the 100th possible realities that could blossom forth from the seeds of time, your reality was different. Your technology was thousands of years behind even the most primitive timeline we encountered up to that point. The horrors you hear of every day, be it war, disease, famine, while still present in ours, are rampant in yours. They are anomalies of your world. You're living in a dystopia, worse than any of us could have ever dreamed of. What we're about to say will upset you, but we must tell you. We at least owe you that much. When we discovered you, our first instinct was not to save you. It was not to help you reach your true potential. It was not to reach a helping hand out or to pull you out of the stark pit that you live in. It was to run. We couldn't run, so we hid. Light Empath sealed our reality off, made your attempts at finding us show you an empty world that is mere afterimage of ours, devoid of any sign of humanity. We deliberately made it impossible for you to find us or contact us. Black Crevasse was not a failure. In fact, it was too successful for its own good. Your failed efforts at finding a beacon of hope, a light cutting through the bleakness of the abyss, are not because there is nothing out there. They failed because we willed it not to be. Our world at large has been living in an unprecedented era of peace and technological advancement for the last 2 centuries. Meanwhile, yours has undergone the same cycle of trying to build a better future, only to give way to strife and chaos again and again. You're destined never to make any real progress. While we live in the safety of our houses, look upon our fellow citizens and smile at them with trust and care, we can only say this to you, our fallen brethren. We're so sorry. Secure, contain, protect. This document has been electronically signed by all of the O5 Council. Warning, this is for O5 eyes only. This just got declassified, so I'm able to read it to D-class personnel. Pretty amazing. I've only read this once. It states, they came to us through the light. Decision in progress. Overseer Council, action number 31-1, pick 6. Motion as follows. Classify the phenomenon as detailed by SCP-3614-2 as anomalous and enact emergency special containment procedures. Voted yay, 0513. Voted nay, 051. Abstain. Votes pending, 052 through 12. Result, redacted. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was SCP-3614. You're dismissed.